the Panman appears, and he arrives, chat, like Jason Voorhees. He has, like, teleporting powers, and so he can appear at any given time. He's kind of like, it's Jason Voorhees. Maybe it's this demon half. He has, like, demon powers. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know, not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch, where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. As I said before, we got to go ahead and get into my movie review, my spoiler review for the Panman, chat. We got to get into nitty-gritty specific details. So, chat, typically, I like to ask you a very important question before we go ahead and get into the meat of the matter, chat. And that is, how many of you have ever seen Panman, chat? The 2011 cult classic film. And even I say that with maybe it's a fucking cult classic. I don't know. CDR Spock, salutations to you. Hope you're living long and prospering, good sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. So I've never heard of it. Cast Fade, not familiar with it. Haven't heard shit about this. Hi, good to see you, DT Darkslayer. Because there's not only a prince, he was also the villain in The Phantom. The Panman, it's true, it's true. Slayer, never heard of it. Brando Carriz, never heard of it. I have no idea what this is. That is, knowing woman, that is a negative. Dude, I'm not familiar with this movie. Strange to shoot. Until today, I was unaware of the Panman. Oh my god, this might be the first time, chat, where most people have never, like, no one has seen this. I love it, shit. I love it. Well, this is good. Then no matter what I say, you'll just have to believe me, except for Josh. Josh, so this is the origin of this, chat, for those who are not familiar. Panman was a part of my full-length video and audio commentaries on my Patreon, Class in a Glass. And sweet baby boy Joshua, he's picked some fucking winners so far, Chet. He picked the Killer Sofa. If you recall, Chet, you might have listened to that commentary, or you might have been a part of my review. And this is his latest pick, Chet, the Panman. And I don't know if he's even seen this film. It's cost exactly 99 cents. It's not even on there for free. At least Killer Sofa was on there for free. Panman, you got to pay that money, baby. It costs 99 cents to watch on Amazon. It was worth that dollar I paid. I didn't mind that so much. And coupled with my full-length video and audio commentary, it'd be a good experience if I do say so myself. So this is my first time ever sitting down and watching the chat, give you a brief history about the movie. It was made by a whole bunch of amateur filmmakers in LA for the price of about $10,000. Most of the people in this movie are not actors in any capacity. Maybe they're film students. Maybe they're like, aspiring directors. As a directing duo of Tim Polari, chat, and Jim Zagoroli, okay? And they had their own website. You can actually go to the Panman website, chat, and buy the film that way. So they've made some money off of this thing. It's you know what? I'll even say this. It might be even better than Birdemic. It perhaps is better than Birdemic. Birdemic did the same thing. Did the same goddamn thing. It's dirt cheap. Much like this movie. It's fucking cheap. You can tell. Then you have some people that feel like they could be actors. Like, I wouldn't say anyone's like an actor, but I'm like, these people have enough, I don't know, charisma where it's like, I could see them in something. Definitely, I'll highlight some of those characters, chat. But the whole concept, it's very simple. It is basically about a murderous demon man who wears a giant fucking lobster boil pot, chat, like a pan, over his head, right, to disguise his identity, and he uses a pan, chat, typically a small saucepan, which he uses to bludgeon and or stab people to death with, chats. That's the thing. And you follow these intrepid characters, these Panman hunters, chat, that have been out after him for like years, trying to defeat him, chat. And a lot of people get caught in the crossfire. There's a lot of death, a lot of destruction in the hunt for Panman. But, chat, is Panman misunderstood? Maybe he's not the monster we're led to believe. Yes, he murders copious amounts of people. But maybe, chat, he does it for the act of love. Maybe he loves someone, chat, and he's trying to keep them safe. And that's why he's stabbing them. That's why he stays. Is he a failed chef? That would be a spoiler. We can't go into spoiler. I'll go into spoiler details in just a bit, but I want to take you on this journey, chat, of the Panman, chat. Let's go inside. We start, chat. And we're following these two ladies. They're two young ladies, chat. They looked like they're college. They're like, we're college age. I don't know. You look like you're in your 30s, but okay, I'll allow it. These 30-plus-year-old undergrad girls named Francine and Esther. Why do they have the names of ladies who were born in 1925? I have no idea, chat. It doesn't make any sense. But they're walking down this creepy alley, chat. They're talking about there's culinary class with Professor Hunter. He's a hard fucking teacher. He has them memorizing all these recipes and everything, and they're not doing well on their tests. You know, Francine, she's a dummy, chat. Francine, you know what the hell's going on. She got a big old F on her goddamn test. And the other one, Chad, Ethel, she doesn't know what the hell's going on either. She's a little smarter, but she still is like, I got a C. Is that better? I don't know. But they're walking down this alleyway, Chad, and we see this guy just jerking. This guy is just smoking doobies, and he's jerking, Chad. You can tell he's not a good guy. And he spots these two ladies, and already, pants down, the jerking commences. But they don't see him, Chad. They hear something going, but they don't see him. Eventually, he waddles on up to them, chat, and they're like, oh my God, what are you doing? He's like, what, can a guy just fucking smoke and jerk off to relax? Ah! And, right before he is about to, come, the Panman appears, and he arrives, chat, like Jason Voorhees. He has, like, teleporting powers, and so he can appear at any given time. He's kind of like, it's Jason Voorhees. Maybe it's his demon half. He has, like, demon powers, and he has multiple outfits, but we see him first, chat, in his Nemesis-esque outfit, like from Resident Evil 3, with, like, the belt buckles. Oh, it looks like a Cenobite. It looks like a really shitty Cenobite, chat. They're strapped together, all these very tight belt buckles, and he sees this guy. And he just starts bludgeoning with the pan. The guy's like, and he's trying to put his dick away, chat, because you don't want to, like, run with your dick flopping in the wind. You don't want that. You want to tuck that thing back in there, chat, before you take off running. Now, he's getting a few good hits in. Panman's getting a few good hits. Eventually, the guy, he staves off Panman's attack, chat, puts the dick back in his pants, didn't unleash his load. I'll tell you that much, chat. And he starts to waddle. And the problem is, chat, he has a very hard erection. And so it's hard to run with an erection. I mean, guys, we all know. And so he's like, oh, you can't do it. It's the Panman. He's like, this is an easy fucking target. And he just fucking pulls back on his pan, chat. And he unleashes it, chat, like a boomerang. He's like Captain Boomerang. He unleashes it, and it goes, and right the handle part embeds itself in the back of the man's neck, chat. Just goes right through there, comes out his throat. He's like, and he falls down there dead, chat. Severed, spinal column, choked to death on his own blood. Panman, thank you, DT Dark 75 Base. Have your peanut balls flop around. It's just begging for it to be. Exactly. That could have happened. Now, I'm not saying that won't happen in the movie, but it could have happened to him. Panman could have just could have cut all that off down there, chat. The pecker and cherries and all, but he was just bludgeoning the man. He was trying to get him off the ladies, of course. And so Panman, he waddles on up, chat, takes the pan out and, like, rubs it on the guy's, hoodie. You gotta have a good saucepan, chat. You have a clean kitchen. You have to have a clean kitchen in order to serve clean, wholesome food. And then the one girl, like Ethel, she fucking freaks out and she runs. She's like, "This is a fucking Panman!" But then Francine, she's not that smart, and she goes, "Oh my God, Panman, you saved me! Thank you so much! Oh geez!" And Panman just stares at this girl like a fucking mute, like Jason, just. But. You're like, oh, he's gonna kill her right now, but no, chat. He imagines a life with this woman. He sees everything. He sees his whole future with her. And we cut to, chat, like them spending time on the beach, them having picnics together, them buying their own house share, renting their own home. They're living, get all the furniture together and just enjoy each other's time. But then the vision turns, shit. The vision turns. And it's how she becomes just like a goddamn albatross around the Panman's neck, and how she's constantly nagging him, and how she's like, oh, you're not like you used to be, and you got to be there for me all the time. He's like, I just can't take this. Panman just can't take this anymore. And the vision, it started as a wonderful dream, and it becomes a nightmare. And he snaps out of the chat, and he sees fucking Francine. She just keeps fucking bap, 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 and he just takes the goddamn pan. Bah! And he just clean fucking just hits her in the head, chat. Nearly knocks her block off. And then her head is like, oh, and you see like her spinal column on her throat coming out of her throat, and she's like, oh, it's horrible, chat. And eventually she collapses, and he finishes the goddamn job, chat. He makes sure that girl is dead just over and over and over again until she's no more. Thank you, by the way. I believe we just got a host, chat. Bat Shields. Hope you and KD are doing very well today. I'm telling the story of the Panman. And he's committed 2 murders. One, he killed one guy who was jerking, smoking doobies, and Francine, who was nagging and not very bright. So dead. But he knows that there's one other person still out there that saw him, chat, Ethel. And Ethel's like, oh my fucking God. And she's wearing high heels, so probably not great, to do that. As we all know, chat, the only thing you can outrun in high heels is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And you can't outrun Panman. And he fucking teleports in front of her, and she's like, ah! Can scream effect. Also, the movie starts out after this. You cut to like this cityscape, except it's very much like a Windows 95 screensaver. But they do have like a GIF of the moon, and you could tell that it's like a GIF because the black background does not match the black background of the Windows 95 screensaver. So it's like, wow, this is cheap as fuck when you're looking back and forth between them, chat. But then we transition from that black sky, chat, that Windows 95 screensaver and moon JPEG, possibly GIF, to the title screen Panman, where we get the trickling blood all going down, chat. Oh, it's a terrifying sight. We then, chat, we transition to the classroom of Professor Hunter. Professor Hunter, who is a little ostentatious, chat. He likes to basically dress like the Joker from the 1989 Batman movie. He has all sorts of colorful outfits, chat. He's like Jack Nicholson in a way, where he's just walking around the room and he's like, never mess with another man's rhubarb, but it's like a reference to like cooking. So I was like, oh, I get what you're doing here. I see. And so he's walking around his fucking clown outfit, handing out everyone's papers. Most of the students are fucking stupid. These freshman age students who look like they're in their 30s to late 40s, but okay, sure, whatever. He's handing back their assignments, and we're introduced to the character of Hope, chat. She got a C+ on it, so she's kind of doing okay, but it was a very hard assignment, chat. It's this salmon souffle. Everyone's like, it's so complicated, but Professor Hunter's adamant. You all need to learn how to make the salmon souffle. Okay, it's paramount. Now, you're going to have to remember this, chat, for next time. It's going to come back all the way at the end. He was like, salmon souffle, what are you talking about, Chris? Pay attention. You'll see, chat. You'll see. And so he's handing back all these papers and stuff. And Hope has this boyfriend who is adorned. He's a 35-year-old man in a freshman culinary class show, which is kind of weird. He has a Party City wig on, Party City wig. It looks very fucking fake. You can even see, looks like the thing was like curling up over his real hair, but we'll let it go. We'll let it go, chat. And he's just being an asshole. He's talking back to Professor Hunter. He's being rude to all the kids. He's knocking all people's, tests out of their hands. I don't give a fuck that I failed. Who gives a stuff? I mean, salmon souffle, it's easy anyway. I don't need this fucking class. I'm going to be a master fucking chef. And Professor Hunter's like, I had enough of you, all right? You and your fucking jabronis, get out of here. And so the boyfriend, we're going to call him, what's his name? Billy and his acolyte, they leave, but the acolyte's like, listen, I'm actually going to come back to class, professor, because I need this class in order to graduate. He's like, that's fine. And so they leave. But this, Hope's like, where's my test? It fell on the ground. I don't know what happened during the commotion. And this one interesting gentleman, Chet, his name is Jeremy. We never see his face, and he picks up the paper and he hands it to Hope. He doesn't say it. He just hands. He's like, oh God, thanks, Jeremy. Thank you so much. And then we just transition. We transition from whoever this mysterious Jeremy figure was. No idea, chat, but he seems to have a thing for Hope. We then, chat, we transition to the student parking garage, where Hope and Billy are smoking doobies. Except Billy, he's made himself a big old joint, chat, filled with the devil's lettuce, filled with Lucifer's relish, chat, and he's having a great time smoking this. And Hope's like, listen, we can't be smoking doobies all the time because we got to study for our exams. I mean, I think it's very important. I know you don't care. You think you're a master chef because you mastered the salmon souffle, like what fucking ever. But I gotta understand, it's really hard, okay? And you gotta come home and study with me. And he's like, who fucking cares, man? Who fucking cares? Let's go home and fuck. Let's fuck right here. Who gives a shit? And she's like, no, you're such a fucking asshole. I hate you, Billy. And so she's like, fuck you. And he's like, fuck me. Fuck you, bitch. And he's like, oh my God. And so she gets out of the car. She's walking away. But then who confronts her? The Pan Man. The Pan Man is there, chat. She's like, oh my God, it's the Pan Man. It's this guy who apparently has been killing students everywhere. Jesus Christ. And then Billy, he gets out of the car. Oh, fuck shit. Oh, hey, Pan Man, why you fucking assaulting my girl, man? That's not cool, all right? You should back the fuck off. He goes, whew. And he blows weed smoke. He blows devil lettuce smoke in the Pan Man's face and fucking shouldn't have done that, chat. And, you know, Billy's like, oh, I think you're a fucking cool guy, huh? Well, how about some of this? You're about to get billied. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what billied mean. I don't know. Maybe it means he's going to kill him. We'll see. But Billy, he fucking winds up, chat, to punch the Pan Man. But Pan Man grabs his fucking hand, goes, and breaks it. He goes, oh! And Billy starts screeching, hollering, chat. And Pan Man, he winds back, chat. He winds that saucepan all the way back and knocks Billy's block off, chat. Severs the fucking head with a bludgeon blow, and his head goes all the way across the fucking parking lot, chat. You see the blood coming off of his neck stump, and Hope, it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, oh my God, why would you do something like that, Jesus? And Pan Man then's like, oh, because he can't talk, chat. He's so quiet. But he, instead of killing Hope, chat, the only thing he presents to her is a card with his phone number on it. It says Pan Man with hearts and his phone number. And it says, will you go on a date with me? Yeah, you have the little heart, like you have the question mark, and then the dot. Instead of a dot, it's a little heart. And she's like, okay. So apparently she doesn't give a shit about Billy. And Pan Man's like, and Hope, she just walks out, even though her boyfriend was just horrifically murdered. She didn't like him. Billy deserved to die. Fuck Billy. You know, he got his block knocked off. She goes out there, chat. She goes out there, and Pan Man, he goes separate. Pan Man's happy about this. He looks like he's got a date. But, someone's been spying on Hope, chat. Someone's been spying on Hope. And it's little Hunter Jr., chat. Thank you, Katie, with my base. Bits for Chris. White girl voice always spun on. Thank you. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. I pride myself on my voices. Oh. But she goes out there, but someone has been watching her, chat. Thankfully, this person's not jerking off. But it is Hunter Jr., chat, the son of Professor Hunter. And Hunter Jr., he's an amateur private dick, chat, a private detective, if you will. A Pinkerton, if you will. And he goes out there. And he's like, listen, I've been watching you for a very long time, Hope, okay? And I know that the Pan Man has been lusting after you. But listen, my father and our group, we've been hunting the Pan Man for many years, and we need you to keep up the ruse and the facade, okay? You must woo him, bed him, and after which we will then kill him. And Hope's like, fuck, Jesus Christ, well, I guess I can do that, but, I mean, I'm kind of scared. He's like, don't worry, we'll always be there to protect you. But we'll always be there to protect you, Hope. She's like, okay, well, I'm going to go home right now. And so she goes home, chat. She goes home. But Pan Man, was he watching, chat? Because he sees Hunter Jr. in the back, but he fucking disappears. Before he can get to Hunter Jr. disappears. And so, good old Hope, she goes to, her apartment, chat, and she's cleaning everything up, making sure everything's, ready for the big day. It's like the next day, right? It's that next evening. Pan Man, he's in his little Jason Voorhees fucking hut with all of his pans, chat. He's making sure everything's nice and clean and tidy. Looks fucking great. And so, I guess, no, it's later, it's next day, but it's like, maybe early afternoon. And so, after that, they're getting all ready and shit, and Pan Man's picking the right pan, like, which one should I use for bludgeoning? That one, this one, haha! And he goes to Hope's apartment, chat. By the way, typical fucking white girl apartment, chat, because for whatever reason, she has adorned her entire apartment inside and out with Christmas lights. Why are you using Christmas lights when it's not Christmas? It's July! Why do you do that? That is such a waste of electricity. What's the point? All right, fair enough. Okay, and so Pan Man knocks on the door, and Hope's like, oh my God, Pan Man, it's so good to see you. And Pan Man's like, why the fuck do you have all these Christmas lights in here, girl? But it doesn't matter, because he's like, because he can't talk. She's like, okay, what do you want to do? And he's like, and it's like, all right, well, we're gonna go somewhere, chat. And they all get in the Pan Man car and they drive to the beach, chat. It's like his vision. It's like his dream he had about good old Francine, chat, before he bludgeoned her to death. Remember that in the opening of the movie? And they go to the beach, and they're sitting on this fucking blanket, Chad. They're having a great time. Fucking Hope, she's getting all undressed and shit, showing off her big booty and everything. And Panman's like, hell yeah. But then there's this one asshole that goes right by. It's like, hey, girl, you got a great ass. How about you fucking bend over for me? And Panman sees this, and he just walks over him, Chad, and he just kills him. He just fucking kills him. But right before he dies, he's like, come on, man. She's got a great ass. And he's like, punch, 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 or pan, pan, pan. In this case, Chad, he's dead. But her and fucking Panman have a great fucking time on the beach, you know, eating cheeses and breads and shit. He's putting under his pan. It's wonderful. Takes her back home, Chad. She's like, well, Panman, it's such a great time. I really, really like getting to know you as a person. And, you know, if you want to come inside, you can get to know me a little bit more. And he's like, oh, Panman's nervous, Chad. He's never had the sex before. And she's like, well, I mean, unless you don't want to. He's like, oh. And he's like, just gives her a hug. And he leaves. But then Hope, it's like she goes inside. She's like, oh, my God. I'm falling for Panman. Jesus Christ. And then they go through all these many dates, Chad. They start wooing each other. It's a proper romance, Chad. Hunter Jr. is always remaining in contact with Hope, saying like, listen, okay, you don't have to do this for a little bit longer. Eventually we'll kill him. She's like, yeah, of course, we'll defeat the Panman. It's like, oh God, I just don't know how I feel anymore. And then she hangs up on him. Eventually, she's invited Panman for dinner, Chad, at her apartment, and he comes inside. He doesn't have the pan this time. He's doing better, Chad. He actually leaves his bludgeoning instrument at home, okay? And like he surprised her because he always sneaks up because he's always fucking teleporting like Jason Voorhees. She's like, Jesus Christ! He's like, gotta put a bell in you or something. Oh my God, so good to see you, Panman. I'm making some like great pasta here with some really cool sauce. And Panman looks at it and he goes, oh, this just isn't right. Because he has the spice. We don't know what it is, shit, but it's the Panman spice. And he just goes, she just puts it in the pasta. And he gets a big old fork and starts stabbing the good old macaroni in there, Chad, with a little bit of, looks like zucchini, some tomatoes. And he just sticks it right in Hope's face. She's like, eat. And she's like, oh, it's so fucking good. Oh my God, it's so delicious. And they go ahead and they have their little romantic evening chat. And they have wine, and they have the pasta there. But, Hope, she's clearly making her feelings known to Panman at this point. She's like, Panman, these last few weeks have been absolutely amazing. I just have one request. And Panman's like, oh. And he's like, I want to see the man under the pan. And it's like, oh, shit. And Panman's like, I can't reveal my true face, okay? I can't do it. The pan stays on, girl, no matter what, including during sex. And she's like, I just really want to see who you are. I love you. Let me see the man I'm falling in love with. And Panman's like, oh. And he removes it, Chetty. He grabs and he's shaking. And he removes the pan. And who is it, Chet? It's Jeremy. It's Jeremy from class, that fucking schmuck who picked up the test one. Here you go. It's that guy. It's him. And she's like, Jeremy? Oh my God, you're the guy that picked up the test in the scene like 20 minutes ago. And he goes, yeah. And he's like, I really like you, Hope. And then they start smooching and they have the sex. Summer Baby, welcome the stream where you just came in the best part where Panman has revealed himself to be Jeremy, the student from earlier in the film who picked up the test and gave it back to Hope, and they're smooching, and the sexy time was had. And then Chad's like, it's the next day, Panman's left to bludgeon more people, as you would expect, right? And Hope, it's like the next evening, and her and Panman are going to have like another fucking dinner. It's going to be great. And she's talking to Hunter Jr. Hunter Jr.'s like, now that you wooed him, now we can attack. We just need one more day to prepare. We could do this. And she's like, I don't know. I'm starting to get like feelings for him. I really like him. And she's like, no, it's a manipulation. He's evil. Now, little does Hope and Hunter Jr. know, Panman has already entered in the house, and he's overhearing all of this shit. He learns that Hope was working with the fucking Professor Hunter and his team of hunters to kill him. And he's like, oh, but he hears that Hope is like, but I love him so much. And so he's conflicted. He's like, I don't know what to do. That's what he's feeling, but we don't see his face, but we feel this through his physical motions, chat. This is how he's moving, and he just doesn't know what to do anymore. And he leaves the apartment. He leaves the apartment to get the thing he needs most, chat, in this world. A pan. And Hope goes down. It's like, Panman, is that you? Where are you? And she's looking around and shit. And he just appears in front of her. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ, Panman. How are you doing? I didn't hear you open the door. And but she goes to smooch him, take off the Pam, but he's like, not gonna be doing that anytime. She's like, Pam, man, what's wrong? What are you doing? And he fucking he backhands her, chat. He fucking backhands. She's like, oh, Pan Man, no. And he's like, oh. That's the thing. He didn't bring a pan, chat. He didn't bring a pan. He was looking for a pan earlier. And the only thing that he has at his disposal, like he looks at a knife and he's like, I don't know how to use this. Gets rid of the knife, picks up a goddamn meat tenderizer, like, no, not that. No, chat, what he goes for is the tinfoil container. You know, you have like a tinfoil container, chat, like that roll of 50 sheets or something, and it has that little sharp end where you get to rip it off the box. That's what he uses, chat, on Hope. He flips it and he puts down the razor blade of the tinfoil container on Hope's throat and begins just sawing back and forth. She's like, oh God, and she's like, slowly, chat, she is murdered. And he's like, it's blood everywhere, and he finishes, and he's like, oh, what have I done? No Name Woman, I think it's but I was rooting for me too, No Name Woman, me too. The Reynolds rap, she died via the Reynolds rap. Having sex with Panda somewhere in it, right? I think so too. And so, she's dead, and, you know, he fucking takes off because he's just so disgusted with himself. She can't believe what he did, but he had to do it, chat, because he's evil, and she betrayed him. And eventually, Hunter Jr. arrives there with the group. They're about to stake Panman. They're about to kill him somehow, but they find the body of Hope, and they go, fuck. Well, we fucked up now, didn't we? Transition. We transition, chat. We are now at the wake of Hope. All right? Where you have the priest, or the minister, whoever, he's presiding over the wake, has about 10 people there, chat. Apparently, Hope was not well liked. No one gave a shit about her. You have, Professor Hunter's crew. They're all there. Thank you, Firewolf. Resubscribing 9 months. You front pooped out a Twitch, baby. What is the name of our Twitch, baby, Firewolf? I need to know this. Sounds like an incel movie. I never came across my mind, but sure, I can see that. Oh, my Lord. Firewall, thank you so much for resubscribing. That is so kind of you. Cheers and salute. I hope you're enjoying the Panman review I'm giving. Oh, my Lord. But yeah, we're at the wake. Minister speaking. He does a fucking little song, you know. Oh, amazing grace, how sweet a sound. For Hope, chat. Also, I always think it's very gaudy. They have like a cake out there for it, but it's with Hope's face, like it's like they use an actual photo. And they're cutting this thing up, giving all the fucking people and shit, giving it to Professor Hunter's group and everything. By the way, we're all introduced to Professor Hunter's group when they arrive at the wake, chat. Of course, we have Hunter Jr., he's there. We also are introduced to the character of, I think his name is Trevor. And, like, Trevor looks like he got, like, hit in the head with something, like, years ago, and he's never recovered fully. He's like, he's like this the whole time. Like, he's not book smart, but he's street smart, but he's just kind of sitting there like in a constant daze, like he just got punched or bludgeoned in the face. I think they say that. I think he got bludgeoned by Panman once, and his face has just never returned to normal, chat. He used to be like pretty handsome. Now he's like that. You also have the character of Elijah, chat, who I'm like, does he have a speech impediment? Because the actor actually, I don't know if the actor has a speech impediment or is part of the character, but he has a really bad stutter. We also have Elijah's uncle, Bo, who is one of the actors in the movie who actually can see, like, he felt like an actor, where he's this giant fucking muscle guy, he always works out, and he's like, whoa, he's kind of like the Coltrane from Gears of War. It's like, Coltrane, baby, woo, choo-choo. That's what he does throughout most. He just wants to be a demon hunter. He doesn't even go to culinary school, but he's there for his fucking nephew, Elijah, make sure he's not getting bullied, chat, for his stutter. So it's pretty cool. Oh, Sunshine Summer. That is what we're going to call it. That is the name of the Twitch baby right now. Sunshine Summer. I will allow it. But, and the last character, Chad, is this other woman character, and I don't know her name. I think her name is Jingle Bells or something like that. I think Jingle Bells is her name. She's not very important. She's probably like the worst actress in the movie. Every time she speaks, I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're just reading us off a cue card, aren't you, honey? But you see, her name is Jingle Bells. And so they're all at the fucking wake. And you know who else is there, chat? The murderer. Jeremy's there, both out the pan, man. He doesn't have the pan in his head. And they're all enjoying this cake. And the minister is like, well, guys, I'm so happy to have you here. Please enjoy the cake, and I'll see you inside. And they're like, well, what about, are we going to spread Hope's ashes? Isn't that what she requested upon her death? Also, Hope's sister's there. I should mention, chat. Hope's sister, Justice, is there, too. And she organized this whole thing. And the minister is like, oh, yeah, no, well, in a way, we're all like Hope. We're corporeal. We're human, that we transcend. And I think we all deserve to have a little hope in us. And so I put all of Hope's ashes in the cake, and you're eating her. And it's like, what? And everyone's like, oh, bleh. It's like, what? Everyone starts vomiting. Everyone just starts vomiting on each other, chat. It's like, oh, my God. Probably the best practical effect in the movie. Just bleh. One guy vomits another guy's face, other guy vomits one guy's back, chat. It's like, oh my God, bleh. As they ate the hope cake, literal hope cake, chat, made with her corporeal form, her ashes. And they're like, well, we gotta get the fuck out of here now. One guy, Bo's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm eating this fucking cake. It's good cake. That bitch tastes good. That's my favorite line in the movie. When Bo said, this bitch tastes good. That is a fucking killer line. Oh, my Lord. That was a good one. I was like, that one got me. See, this movie occasionally has some good singers in there. And so, Professor Hunter and his group, they're about to leave. They're about to leave at that point. But Justice, she wants to come with them. And they're like, we don't need your help. Your sister was in danger, was put in danger by us. We don't need you, okay? Stay away from us. We have to handle this ourselves. But Elijah's like, you can come. And so Justice joins them. They have a little fucking group meeting in the backyard of the professor. And the professor, he's just like, I guess you decided to come here because Elijah, just brought you along. He's like, why'd you do that, Elijah? And he's like, we need to move the story along, Professor, please. And, Professor's like, and Bo's like, hey, don't fucking talk back to my nephew, okay? He's here to help you, all right? I'm here to kick some demon ass. Woo! He's excited. And Justice is like, well, who killed my sister? Who killed my sister, Professor? He's like, the Panman did. And he's like, the Panman, who is he? He's like, let me tell you. And we hear about the history of the Panman, chat. Apparently, he is a demon called Bagul. He's a demon called Bagul. But, chat, he's also a vengeful ghost. It's like a combination. It's like a demon named Bagul and then a vengeful ghost named Crawfordy. Crawfordy is the vengeful cooking ghost. And it's like, okay. And she's like, well, who's Crawford? And he's like, let me tell you. And we go back years ago. This guy owned this 5-star restaurant, Mr. Crawfordy. Okay? It was a very successful business, but he was a fucking workhorse, and he abused his employees constantly. Thank you, by the way, to Red Panda 316 the follow you, my new Huckleberry. Welcome to stream. Currently in the middle of my review of Panman. And so Mr. Crawfordy, he owned a 5-star restaurant. He was a workhorse, but he constantly abused his employees. He's like the soup Nazi. The guy literally looks like the fucking soup Nazi, chat. That's what from Seinfeld. And so one time, one of his employees is walking by, and he just starts fucking berating, just yelling like, you're so fucking stupid, and I hate you. You don't know how to cook. And he throws hot like pasta sauce in his face. The guy's like, oh, and the guy fucking loses. The guy just fucking loses it, chat. Just grabs a grabs a pan. Grabs a pan and just goes to town on Chef Crawfordy, chat. And the rest of the restaurant, like, you know what, fuck it, we're all in this together. And they just start bludgeoning Chef Crawfordy to death with pans, chat, with meat tenderizer, with rolling pills, until he's just meat. And thankfully, none of the other fucking, guests, none of the people who came in there, chat, the diners heard. And so they just used the meat and they put it into the soup. They put it in the soup. They put it into the casserole. They put it into the sauces, and they fed him. They fed him to their guests, chat. But Crawfordy's ghost was so enraged that he bonded with the demon Bagul, and they created the Panman, where it's kind of like a symbiote. where it finds a specific victim. It finds a specific victim and it possesses them, Chad, and it uses their human meatbag form to then commit murders in vengeance. And apparently, Professor Hunter, he's been hunting this thing for years. It's taken him so long, Chad, like decades, trying to defeat Bagul and Crawfordy. And he came close. Like one time he came really close, Chad, because apparently it started possessing his students. That's what it did. And so he tells the story when he confronted Panman at one of his students' apartments, and he just basically grabbed the knife and just started stabbing the shit out of the kid, just over and over and over again. But then fucking Bagul Crawfordy demon escaped via the kid's orifices, Chad, his mouth, his ears, his asshole, and it's just whenever he's like, I'll get you, Panman, and he escaped. And the kid's like, Professor, have you graded our test yet? And he's like, no, and he kills him anyway. So Gabagool might as well be. That's what he became. He became the Gabagool. Oh, Lord. You would never go full. They went full Sweeney Todd. Thank you, DD Darkslave, for the 5 biddies. And they're like, well, you committed a murder. He's like, I'm about to commit more. It's like, Oh, by the way, Bo, who is like the best character in the movie, Professor Hunter told him to kidnap these 2 fucking white people that were just there. These very haughty, these very waspy white people that were participating in in Hope's wake. Because apparently they were assassin. Professor Hunter, and they might know something about the Panman. And so Professor Hunter had Bo kidnap them. So it's like that happened. It's like, oh shit, okay. And she's like, well, I want to be involved in helping, get vengeance on my sister and stopping the Panman from murdering anyone else. And he's like, well, I suppose we could use your help. All right, but you have to do what I say. She's like, all right. He's like, good. All right, team break. Everyone go off on their own in separate directions so the Panman can't track us. But the Panman can only track one chat. You know who he chooses to track? Fucking Hunter Jr. And he goes to the abode of Hunter Jr., Chad, who has drawn, I'm not joking, has drawn erotic images of Panman, Chad. He's not there to hunt him down and kill him. He's lusting after him, Chad, because he's been watching Panman for all these years. That's all he thinks about now. So the only way he can get off now is Panman. And so Panman arrives at Hunter Jr.'s house, and he goes in there. Hunter Jr.'s like, oh my God, it's my greatest dream. But then the Panman kills him. He bludgeons him to death, Chad. He bludgeons him to death, and he kills Hunter Jr. I'm sure Professor Hunter will be very upset. Not really, but he's like, whatever. And so, but Professor Hunter, he's busy doing something else because he knows that fucking these 2 waspy assholes that he ordered Bo to kidnap, they know something about the Panman. And so he's got this newlywed couple, chat, and he got them all tied up in his kind of like his jigsaw basement. And they're like, why are you fucking keeping us here, Professor? What's going on? He's like, you know something about the Panman. You know who he really is, don't you? And they're like, no, we have no idea. And the wife's like, oh, yeah, I know you do know who he is. I think you do. You're telling me you think this guy's the Panman. He's like, no, I don't. So, Professor, I think he actually knows. He's like, I knew it. I have ways to make you talk. And so he grabs it. He has all of his weapons of torture. And he goes for his first weapon of torture, chat, a potato peeler. He grabs a potato peeler, chat, and he waddles over to the guy and goes, Guy's like, no, Professor, no. And he grabs it, he starts peeling the flesh off of his face. He's like, beard and all, chat, just all of it. And the guy's just screaming. And eventually he stops. The wife's like, holy fucking shit, that looks like it really hurts. And he's like, I'm not done. And then, Chad, he goes on over to the meat tenderizer, and he grabs the meat tenderizer, Chad, and he goes at the guy's knees, and just basically until his knees are just jelly, until they're just bone, like bits of bone and cartilage and meat, Chad. He's like, oh, Professor. And he's like, I'm not done. And then he goes and he gets the pizza slicer, Chad, the pizza cutter. Like the thing that's actually, I don't like using pizza slicer, but he has a pizza slicer. And he goes on over. He's like, okay, I think his name is Jeremy, maybe. He was at the wake. And Hunter's like, oh, that's it. That's who he is. Thank you. You've served your purpose. And he goes, and he slices his throat with the pizza cutter, chat. My God. And he just is like, yes, there, I'm done. And he leaves. And apparently the wife is still there. Don't worry, Chell, find out what happened to them. But then like, okay, shit. Well, we got a plan for this next thing, so we know who this guy. We know it's Jeremy. They go to his apartment. He's gone. Jeremy's gone. It's like, well, shit, that's not gonna fucking work. He's like, and Professor was like, this is how we'll do him. I recently acquired the old Crawfordy restaurant, and I bet if we build it back up and everything, and we would say it's the grand opening, he'll come there and we can bamboozle and murder the Pan Man. That's what we can do. Also, he says it's very important when we do so. We're gonna have a whole. It's literally a Scooby-Doo scheme where everyone gets a specific job to do. Bo, you're the bartender. He's like, fuck yeah, I'm just gonna fucking drink and kick some demon ass. Woo! And like, what's his name? No, not Victor. Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for the 5 days, Jesus Christ. We're supposed to stop after the initial torture lead response, man. Just want to execute the main. Excuse me, pretty much. Professor Hunter's not a great guy, as you can obviously tell, chat. But I forget the other guy's name. Victor, the one that has a face like, he's a derpy face. We're going to call him Mr. Derpy. Victor the Derp. Victor the Derp, he's going to be the waiter, but he's struggling with the fucking, tablecloth chat and the napkins. He's having a rough time. Justice, you'll be the one of the maitre d's over there. You'll be serving. You'll be the person that welcome. You'll be the greeter. You're going to be the greeter. Everyone gets a fucking job. It's going to be great. And so everyone's just positioned themselves in the restaurant, chat, which even though it's the grand opening, no one's fucking there. But who arrives, chat? The Pan Man. Professor Hunter said the most important thing to use in the Pan Man is this pesto, which I've imbued with Celtic black voodoo magic, okay? It's the best of both worlds. Celtic and voodoo, chat. And so if we haven't consumed the pesto, he will be weakened and we'll be able to kill the Pan Man. And they're like, all right. So, they all set this up, chat, and who fucking arrives in the Pan Man mobile? The Pan Man! And he gets up there, and he's greeted by Justice, like, right this way, so I'll show you to your table. And so she fucking sits him down, and then fucking Victor the Derp, he comes over and offers the Pan Man some wine, and then he goes over to the bar area where fucking Bo prepares the pesto, chat, the Celtic voodoo black magic pesto. Pours in there, gets the bread, walks on over, and he's like, here's your bread and pesto, sir. But the Pan Man, he's not fucking dumb, chat, because he sees the pesto, he's like, these motherfuckers are trying to kill me. And he fucking flips out, chat. Ah! He throws the table up in the air, and he grabs Victor or Vinny, whatever the hell his name is, chat, and he grabs a knife. And he's like, oh, everyone's like, oh, shit, don't let him escape, don't let him escape. And the kid's like, help me, Professor, help me. He's like, it's too late for you. It's too late for you. He grabs forks and knives and spoons, goes, ah! He starts throwing them, and they all hit Victor. He's like, ah! They all hit him. And he just falls on the ground, and the Pan Man just takes off. And Bo's like, I want to beat the shit out of you, man, but it's too late. He runs away, and then Elijah holds the broken, just stabbed body of Victor the Derp, and he's like, it's not looking great. And he's like, why? And he's dead. He's like, Professor, why didn't you aim for the Pan Man? He's like, I tried. He was in the way. And he's dead. TMNT12. Think of the follow you, my new Huckleberry. Hope you're doing very well. Clearly a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, I believe. And so he's dead. Everyone's like, fuck this. No, I am absolutely done with this. This is crazy. So Elijah's like, fuck you, Professor. I fucking hate you. I'll see you on Monday. I hope you have the exams graded. So Elijah leaves Bo. He says he supports his nephews. His good uncle says, listen, I want to kick some demon ass. Woo! But no more demon, man. I gotta go. And so he leaves. Jingle Bells was there too. Jingle Bells is like, I'm not important anymore. I gotta go too. And so he's like, fine, I don't need any of you. The professor's really pissed. And eventually, it's just him and Justice. It's just him and Justice. She's like, well, I still want to stop Pan Man. I want to stop him from hurting people like my sister. And he's like, are you prepared to go as far as I've done tonight? And she's like, no, but maybe a little bit. He goes, good. We will bamboozle him. We have much to do, Justice, for your sister, for my son, whatever. But to our eventual success. She's like, okay. And they're like, they do that. Yeah, they toast each other. But chat, the Pan Man, he knows who's after him now. He remembers everyone who crosses his path. And he has people to kill on his list. And so, chat, we go to the home of Elijah where he just gets home. He gets home from doing a little grocery shopping, chat, but who's there waiting for him in his hallway out of Elijah's eye line, chat, out of his peripheral vision? The Panman. He's in there, chat, and Elijah's just busy, you know, putting all of his fucking food away and shit and doing his thing. But the Panman bamboos Elijah. Elijah's like, oh! But Elijah tries to fight back, chat. He grabs condiments and ketchup and mustard, goes, yeah! He squirts in the Panman's face, and the Panman hates yellow mustard, chat. He prefers stone ground mustard. That is the good shit. The brown mustard, chat. None of that yellow mustard bullshit, okay? All right? We're not fucking mud people. We're not the pores. We eat good mustard here. He's like, trying to get after him, chat. But, you know, Elijah's still fighting. He's taking bread, just throwing it at Panman. Panman just had enough of this. Because he just he whacks Elijah. He whacks him. It's not enough to kill Elijah. Elijah's like, oh. And the Panman, he sharpened one of his pans, chat. He takes it and goes, and he stabs it right into Elijah's tummy. He goes, and all of his Elijah blood just starts pouring into the pan. She's like, and he dies. And he's kind of dead. He's like, ugh. And then all the blood goes in, and then the Panman, like, gets it out, and he just, to add insult to injury, chat, he dumps the blood on top of Elijah, chat. Boom, like he's an ice cream sundae. It's some of that raspberry syrup. And he leaves Elijah in a horrible state. And now, Chad, he has another victim, Jingle Bells. And so we cut, Chad, to Jingle Bells, and apparently she was out running, Chad. And I love that in the movie, like, they can't use name brand water because they have all these plastic bottles of water everywhere, but they've taken off all the labels. You can even tell, like, one of the bottles what they were, because it's like, that clearly used to be a Poland spring water. I could tell because I could kind of see the outline of the old logo in there, but it's so cheap. But she just gets to her apartment, chat, and she sees someone left the water running, and apparently they filled it with boiling fucking water. It's, like, super hot. It's, like, bubbling and steaming. She's like, this is so fucking weird. Who would fucking do this? And then the Panman appears, and then she's like, I'm not gonna fucking go down without a fight, because she starts throwing hands, chat. She starts throwing hands at Panman. He's like, shit, this bitch crazy. And he starts, you know, ducking and weaving and diving, chat. But eventually he's had enough of the chat, because he's like, fuck, I don't need the pan anymore. He backhands her, chat, backhands her a second time, grabs her hair. Oh, that's the thing. He backhands her, grabs her by the throat, grabs the soap and just stuffs it in her mouth and squeezes it. She's like, whoa, so her whole fucking thing just goes down her throat, chat. And then he takes it out and he puts her fucking head into the water, chat. Just like, whoa, and she drowns in, well, one, she's getting her skin fucking burned off because it's boiling hot water, chat, so it's all blistering, but she's also drowning a sudsy death, chat, until she stops writhing. He removes her from the sink and throws her on the floor, chat, because he has other people to kill. He's got someone else. And then, chat, my favorite character when we go to the apartment of Bo. And I'm like, oh, it was so sad. It was so sad because I absolutely, this guy I could see being in movies. He's pretty fucking funny. And Bo's doing what he typically does, shit, is fucking working out, just, woo, yeah. Woo, 99. Woo, 100, baby. And he hears someone knocking on his apartment door, and he fucking goes on over, opens it. No one there. He's like, goddamn kids, close the door, chat, walks away. But then he goes back to the fucking door because he hears someone knocking. He's like, God fucking damn it. Goes back to the door, and the Panman's there. And he's like, he tries to hit Bo with the pan, but Bo, he goes, whoa, he dodges the chat, and Bo starts beating the shit out of the Panman. She's like, I want to kick some demon ass, and here we fucking go. And he's like, punch him in the fucking gut, chat, give him the ribs, give him his fucking Panman head. Bo's giving the Panman a run for his money. But the Panman, he fights fucking dirty, chat, as you know. He'll use any kitchen utensil at his disposal, chat. And he takes, this is a bad death. This is sad, chat. It's a sad state of affairs. But he grabs, because Bo likes a little wine, chat, you know, after, you know, late in the evening. You know, has his, you know, fucking protein shakes. But he likes to enjoy a little wine. And the Panman grabs a wine opener, chat. He takes it and goes, bah! It was a dirty punch, chat, right in the fucking Bo's eye. And Bo's like, ah, ah! And he's screaming, chat. He's like, goes over to the kitchen and he slowly unwinds the wine opener, goes boop, until his fucking eyeball comes out, chat, and it drops in the sink. And he's like, this motherfucker took my eye. And he's trying to fish his eye out of the fucking sink. He's like, God damn it. And it's like, it's done, man. It's done. But the Panman's like, I have a trap. And we see Chad, he goes over to the garbage disposal, and fucking Bo's like, no, man, no! And he fucking turns it on, Chad. He's like, oh! And Bo's hand just gets all destroyed, shit, along of the eye. And the Panman, he just bludgeons Bo's head in until there's nothing left. And Bo is killed. That was the death. I'm like, oh, God damn it. If you could kill, like, if there could be one survivor in this movie, Chad, let it be Bo. They kill all the black people. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. Eventually, he tries to find, like, the other people, Chad, but they're nowhere to be seen. He's like, he tries to go to Professor Hunter's place. He's gone. Tries to go to Justice's place. She's gone. But you know what he does get, Chad? You know what the Panman does get? He gets a fucking call. He gets a phone call from Hope? What the fuck is this? And he's like, huh? And she's like, meet me at my apartment. Meet me in my apartment, Panman. He's like, okay. And he goes there, chat. And he opens the fucking door. And what does he see? Fucking bazongas, chat. He sees Hope in a nice little nighty, chat, showing off the goods. And he's like, nom, nom, nom. That looks like a fucking meal. She's like, I made your favorite meal. And we go over to the kitchen, chat. And we see that Hope has prepared, some chicken breasts, some broccoli and some carrots. And it's like a simple, wholesome meal. And, they go over and sit in the dining room table, chat. She puts the plates down, pours the wine and everything. And it seems normal. Seems normal for Panman, but we realize, chat, that's not fucking actually Hope. It's Justice, chat. They literally stole this from Friday the 13th, where the one girl in Friday the 13th, part 2, finds the severed head of Mama Voorhees, chat, and her sweater and outfit, and she wears the fucking sweater, and then Jason thinks that that's the mom. It's the same fucking thing. You've seen this before. Meanwhile, chat, the Professor Hunter, he's hiding in the stairs like, oh, I gotta get him. I'm gonna fucking get him. Oh, he's got a meat cleaver. He's ready because, chat, little does Panman know, Hope has doused the chicken breasts in pesto, the black magic voodoo Celtic pesto, chat. And so he starts eating it, and it's like, and he freaks out. And then fucking the professor comes out. He's like, Panman, finally, I can have my revenge on you and what you did to me all those years ago. But little does he know, chat, fucking the Panman, the gas comes out of Jeremy, goes, the Crawfordy Bagul demon, the Gabagool demon comes out, and it goes behind the professor, and he starts like, he tries to hit him, but it doesn't work. He's like, what's going on here? Like, he cuts Jeremy once, but he's like, because then Justice comes around, grabs him, and she starts attacking the professor. He's like, get off me, you bitch. He's inside of you. I gotta kill him. And he's like whacking her and shit. Eventually, he leaves, and he goes inside the professor, chat. He's like, no, out of me. Whoa. He's like trying to hit himself with the cleaver, but he's stopping himself. And eventually, he just collapses in exhaustion, chat. Drops the cleaver. Then the Gabagool demon goes back inside the Panman, chat. Justice recovers. The Professor Hunter recovers, and they both stand up. But now Panman, he has the weapon he wants. He has a cleaver, chat, and he's coming right at Professor Hunter. Professor Hunter's like, fuck this. He's like, take her, have her. She means nothing to me. And he throws Justice at the Panman, but Panman's confused. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, but Hope, but maybe Justice, I don't know. And he just fucking takes off running. He takes off running, gets in his car, and goes away. And Justice like, you fucking asshole, you tried to kill me. It's like, I'll do worse than that. I'll do even worse than that. You're coming with me. And she's like, no, get your hands off me. It's like, shut up, bitch. And they get in his car, chat. And, they're driving down the highway, and she's like, where are we going? He's like, the place where he first fell in love with your sister, Hope. And he's like, there's so much you don't know, Justice. So much I have not revealed. What are you talking about? And here's the big fucking reveal. Professor Hunter, chat, he was the one who created the Panman, he says. I created him years ago. Chef Crawfordy. Yes, he owned a 5-star restaurant, and he happened to take a certain, affection towards one of his most generous patrons, my wife. And soon, he was serving her not only souffles, but also serving his dick right up her ass. And I knew they were having an affair. And I knew, I was confirmed. It was confirming what was going on because my wife became pregnant. And I realized at an early age that I couldn't have children. And she's like, your son Hunter? He's like, he means nothing to me. I'm glad he died from the Panman. And he's like, in order to get revenge at Crawfordy, I leaked that his employees stole his recipe for his salmon souffle. And he was so mad, he became an asshole to everybody because it was his big thing. It was going to put him on top. And then they, it made him enraged, and he tried to hurt his own people, but then they killed him. And the thing is, though, Crawfordy, he seeks vengeance against those, violent vengeance against those who try to replicate his salmon souffle. She's like, Professor, salmon souffle? You've been teaching Hope and all the students about the salmon souffle. Yes, I have, in hopes he would come after them so I could finish off Crawfordy forever. So it's like, holy shit. Wow. And he's like, I have my opportunity. He'll be there. He'll be there. Jeremy and Gabagool are fighting to maintain control. And Jeremy will go to the place where he fell in love with Hope. And so he drives there, Chad. He drives there. He gets, come here, bitch. Gets her off get out of the car, Chad. And he's like, let's go. And it's funny, we get this. This is actually not a bad image where they go to the beach. It's like it's just dawn or whatever. And we see just the sun perfectly illuminate the Panman, chat, for the final duel, the final battle, chat, between Panman and Professor Hunter. Who's the true villain, chat, I ask you? Who is the true villain? I don't know. But, it's like, he's like, you've served your purpose, bitch. Panman, Crawfordy, you'll pay for fucking my wife. Let's tango. And they start going at you. They start dueling and shit. But Crawford, he fucks it up though because they eventually separate, and it's like kind of like a duel situation. He has a knife and he goes and he throws it and fucking whiffs, just fucking whiffs. But you know what though? You know what the goddamn Panman has, Chad? He has a saucepan top, and he fucking flings that thing like a frisbee, flings like a frisbee. And he hits the chest of Professor Hunter. Goes, go! But Professor Hunter, he had one more thing. He had the meat cleaver. He's like, and he throws it. It goes, goes right in the Panman, Chad. And he's like, and he falls off the cliffside. Eventually, Justice, she goes over to Professor Hunter. He's like, could you call me an ambulance? She goes, you're not going to need an ambulance where you're going. And she fucking puts all of her body weight, Chad, onto the fucking saucepan top. He's like, and he dies. She then goes down to, she then goes down the cliffside to go see Panman / Jeremy. Meanwhile, this fucking random guy is just out there like drinking a bottle of wine. He goes, hey buddy, are you okay? And the fucking spirit of Gabagool, Chad, Crawford and Bagul, goes inside of his orifice. He's like, whoa. But then eventually, Justice goes down there and she takes the pan off of Jeremy's head. And Jeremy's like, Hope, is that you? And she's like, it is Justice. She's like, Jeremy, no, it's me. It's Justice. I'm Hope's sister. He's like, is Hope okay? She's like, nah, she's not. She's not okay. She's gone. He's like, I'm gonna go see Hope now. And then he dies, and then the fucking waves wash up, and they take him away, which is funny because the actor is like, oh God, this is not good. He's like coughing up water. Salt water, and he just goes out to sea. It just takes him. Meanwhile, Justice, she walks up the cliffside again, Chad, just covered in blood and everything that she's been through. And then that random fucking guy who apparently now has Panman's car, he rides right up to her. He goes, hey, you doing, little girl? Yeah, you need a lift? Where you heading? She's like, north. He goes, that's where I actually happen to be going myself. And I don't know why he's talking all of a sudden. But he goes in there, she goes in there, and he's like looking all creepy at her, chat, and he drives off, and we see the license plate of Panman. And that, my friends, is Panman the movie. Also, we cut back to the basement where Professor Hunter was torturing the couple, the husband and wife, and the lady's still there, and the husband's body's all bloated and rotting. And she's like, it's really stinky in here. I hate it. Oh, my God. And that, my friends, is Panman. I hope you enjoyed the review. Oh, Lord. And you can get access to my full-length video and audio commentary chat for only $2 on Patreon. It's good stuff. Oh, Lord. Oh, Panman's Real Movie, Roy King's right here. Right there. Boom. The Panman. Also, I have it on my Patreon. I'll go ahead and show you. At least the video and audio commentary. There it is. There it is. Full-length video and audio version. 99 cents on Amazon, chat. You could watch it tonight if you so choose. I did enjoy it. This is one crazy movie. It was good. Not a stinger. I mean, kind of. Oh, Lord. Thank you, Ace Rock. Thank you. When do they get the Anna Panman right? I wanted to see what the Panman, chat. We only got the one. It came out in 2011. Better than sex. So if I would give this a rating, I don't know. Like a low rental. Like, I think it might be worth watching. It's a fun watch. But just go and knowing you're going to see a bad movie. It's a bad movie. I give it a very low rental. The Panman. Think about those custom plates fast. He really did. The sex did happen. The Panman Hope did have the sex. And Jeremy, he's going to meet Hope maybe another life. Well, see, sound like they embraced the insanity. So they did. No, they totally did. It's a comedy. It's a comedy. I was confused that The Good Son Gotten are a good movie, though very disturbing. Oh, Lord. Now, I'm glad you guys like Bat Boy, Anna Panman's classic 70s kid cartoon from Japan. The superhero with a steamed bun for a head. Oh, I think I know about that, yeah. The many twists and turns. There's a lot of fucking twists and turns in this film, chat. You gotta give them that. And they kind of, they out-Shyamalan, chat. Yeah. Loco sounds like a movie to watch with friends. Very much so, very much so. It's not who I am, but the pan that defines me. Oh, Lord, chat. Well, I'm going to take a brief break. In the meantime, chat, please entertain yourselves among yourselves. I'm going to refresh my beverage. I'll be back in a minute, and I'll go into my review, my spoiler review, chat, of Gargoyles Episode 19, The Silver Falcon. Stick around.